All right. And it looks like we are where we need to be. I think I got this figured out. Um sure. Okay. Ears are stupid. I thought it was funny, but yeah, it just doesn't work right. Oh. Well, you're not late. I just started there, Adam. How goes it? Yeah. So, welcome to another episode of Alexis Unhinged. And yeah, I don't know where this is going. I've got an outline. Maybe I'll get to it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm also doing an Instagram at the same time, and I'll see how that goes. We'll see. Yeah. Anyway, so Kevin fed the horses early. Trail does 55. Apparently, they're a little pissed about it, and I don't know what horses he's got, but I have never had a horse that was pissed about getting fed early. They've always been like, "Whoo, score!" It's the middle of the day. Oh, I get fed early. Sweet. And Jeff Killian's joining us. Adam Speargrass Forge, and Robert Lonis. Bobby, how's it going? Oh man, yes, Adam, I saw you got to Forge this week. I got the notification at about noon today, which is about 12 hours after it happened. I don't know what it is with my YouTube here lately. Uh, I'll watch somebody's live stream, and then 12 hours later, I'll get the same notification again that they're going live, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? This has been happening for about 2 weeks now. Now, I did not get the notification last night that you were going live, or at least there wasn't one on my phone when I woke up. But then, yeah, I got it at noon, and I was like, that's weird. So, yeah, I don't know. My YouTube notifications have been a little bit weird as of late. We'll figure it out, or we won't. I mean, eh. Oh yeah. I take a quick potty break and come back to the show already in progress. Well, you haven't missed anything at all, other than talking shit about you, Kevin. So it's okay. Ah, so it's a notification. Okay, so maybe when you go live, there's a notification that goes out, and then when it's done rendering and is like up, with the live chat replay and all that, and then maybe at that point another notification goes out. I don't know. That's something I hadn't considered because there is that whole like about 12-hour window where if you watch the recorded live stream, there's no chat that goes along with it. It takes basically it takes a day, and then you can watch it with the live chat. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's something new though because that didn't used to happen. So in any case, yeah, you could have learned something about myself. Well, I'll tell you right now. What you could have learned was that you've got apparently got the only horses on Earth that are pissed off about being fed early. Because every horse I've ever owned has just wanted food now. I don't care what time it is now. Oh, we're out. We're 3 miles away from the barn. I'll turn around right now and we'll go back if you're going to feed me. And anyways, yeah. So, in case any of you guys, I'm pretty sure everybody that's going to be in here or is in here, is privy to my Instagram. But I did finish this dagger that has been on my project list for probably 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, 2 years now, 2 years, and yeah, I finally finished it. It's junk. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. There's three cracks in the blade. They are right here, and right here. They run uh, uh, vertically or horizontally across the edge of the blade. I discovered those cracks when I etched it. I did not see them before that at all. And then I was like, hmm. But I'm so far into this, might as well finish it. And I spent, a year just working on it. Yeah, I made the Makame Gane pommel and the bolster out of a stack of dimes. So those two bits were made out of an entire roll of dimes. And the guard is a piece of stainless steel off of one of them BOP rings that I get on occasion. That I actually had to make that like 4 different times. It was really irritating, but made it, got it on there, and then I left the blade. It's a shear steel or spring steel from a Sheffield spring carriage spring from the mid 1800s. So before they made knives, back when they made carriage springs, and uh, yeah, high carbon wrought iron. That was a little bitty 2-inch piece, about that long, and I drew the whole thing out in that blade, and then drew out the tang, and then I threaded it and everything, and yeah, it's a good time. But at the end of the day, it's just a wall hanger because it's got so many cracks in it, and that's disappointing. But you know what? That's why I'm not a knife maker. I also finished up a couple more trivets that I had laying around this week. These are put together. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet, but they were fun to get done. Whatever. Uh, Easy peasy with blanks from Christ Centered Ironworks, blacksmithingblanks.com. Not that they're a sponsor or anything. Um, but that's about the long and short of that. Oh yeah, no, I also did a thing. Hold on, let me. Who's supposed to get their noses out of joint? uh, Bet I worked some gallium in it too. No, no, because if I'd have put gallium in it, at some point it would be liquid. And I mean, honestly, if the handle were hollow and you put gallium in it, you could like heat up like outside in the summertime here in Texas when it's like 100 degrees. You could pick the knife up and you could be like, and you could hear, the gallium would be just like sloshing back and forth on the inside. But then you could bring it inside, in the air conditioning where it's 70 degrees and it stops doing that because the melting point of gallium is 85 Fahrenheit. So that'd be cool. And Adam learned this week that heat blackening something 3 feet long and a half inch thick is a pain in the butt. Yes, it is. On anything that I'm gonna blacken that is longer than basically my forge, I'll do like what fits. And then for the rest of it, I'll use my little handheld propane torch to work the heat up and then oil it as I go. I've done that on a few things like those long spatulas and barbecue forks and whatever that I make. Um, they're just too long to effectively do in a forge. So you get them hot with a little propane torch, and then add your beeswax or what do you call it, olive oil or whatever. I'm personally a big fan of like bacon grease and canola oil. Those both do really. That's the spray canola oil. You really can't go wrong with that. Just if it catches on fire, it's a little too hot. But yeah, you don't have a handheld torch. Um, and yes, I said bacon, bacon, bacon. Um, So yeah, I mean, how do you not have a handheld torch? I mean, they're just like the ones with the little can, the little propane can that goes on, click, click, click. I mean, hell, that's how I start my forge, and well, that's really all I do with it is start my coal forge and also blacken longer pieces. And oh, well, you know what? I think it's time to let's get Let's get to the root of the matter, shall we? Oh. So trail dust, your first foraging as a kid was with one of those, huh? I think the first thing I ever heated anything up with, and and then tried to beat on, I used a weed burner. And I went and bought some fire bricks, and I made this little fire brick forge. Stuck the weed burner into one end, and in like an hour, because the weed burner doesn't run on a regulator, it's just straight into the bottle. And in an hour, I used an entire 20-pound propane cylinder. Just heating up a piece of, I don't even know what it was, sucker rod or rebar or half inch rod. I don't know what it was, but just heating that piece up, and then yeah, a whole 20-pound cylinder of propane in like an hour. It was crazy. Those things are super inefficient. Oh. Oh, yeah, there you go, weed burner. That will definitely work. I mean, it'll definitely it'll get your shit hot enough to forge with. So, I mean, albeit it's not that efficient, but it will work really good for getting stuff hot enough to black it. Yeah. And in case any of you guys didn't notice, I mean, like that right there, that's an acquired skill. Mm-mm-mm. A little bit of vodka, little bit of El Presidente brandy, and and a Pepsi on top. I can't go wrong with that. Anyways, Roy has a video on a weed burner forge. Yeah, you know, I saw something recently about something similar, and and yeah, I mean, like, no, a weed burner does work. I was like, but like I said, they burn a lot of gas, and I don't know why that is necessarily, but yeah, I know when my brother ran a propane truck, like a big one, 11,000 gallon tanker. Um, he would come home empty, and then overnight, the temperature would go from, like, 80 degrees outside to like 20 degrees, and he'd go from having 120 pounds of vapor pressure on his tanker to like 60 pounds of vapor pressure on his tank. Well, all of that vapor turned into liquid. There'd be 100 gallons of liquid or better in the bottom of the tank every morning, and if he didn't unload that liquid, he was hauling it for free because he only got paid for however much he loaded at his delivery point. So when he gets to the delivery point, it doesn't matter how much he unloads. How much he loaded is what he gets paid for. So if there's any liquid on there when he loads, or that's already on there, he doesn't get paid for hauling it. And so we would always just like try to, you know, put it somewhere, I mean, like, my propane tanks were always full. I mean, he upgraded his house propane tank to a 500 gallon. I had a 250. We each had a couple 100 gallons and just like piles and piles of 20s. I mean, like, he had adapters that you could like fill a little bitty like stove green propane bottle, the ones that have the male threads on them, you could fill one of those off of his 11,000 gallon tanker. It's crazy. It's about six adapters that went together to do that. But always had to try to get as much liquid off as possible before he went to go get a new load. And I don't remember where I was going with that, but oh yeah, 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 yeah. One time we overfilled my tank because it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and didn't really think about it. But he needed to unload liquid, drop by the house, top me up. 80% is just a recommended thing. I mean, you can you can you can literally get them up there like 95, 98%, and it's not that big a deal, because you're still not going to be blowing liquid out of your vapor line. 80% is just kind of a 5x buffer, you know what I mean? And we filled mine up to like 100% liquid. And then as the day wore on and it was going to be 100 degree day, I was starting to kind of freak out a little bit because my tank was going to overpressurize and it was pretty old. And I was afraid that the pop off was going to go and not close. Like, pop off blows open, it's blowing the propane out, and there's no guarantee that when it gets to the right pressure, it's going to close again. It could just stick open and empty the whole dang tank. And so I disconnected the propane tank from the house and I hooked up a weed burner to it. And right in there next to that 200-gallon tank, I had that weed burner going full blast all day long. And it took me all day to get her down to like 95% where I was like comfortable. But boy, that was a hell of a day. Huh, fermented fruit juice with Pepsi. You betcha, bud. It's definitely fermented something. Um, so anyways, yeah, I've covered those things and those things. And yeah, should I get into the root of the cause of the stream? I don't know. I'm still a little nervous about that. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Anyways. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. So I was doing an experiment, and Bobby's kind of a all right, squirrel eclipse. The eclipse was freaking amazing. I'm gonna tell you right now. I took the day off work. I actually planned for last Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 years ago. Like I literally made plans to go to this eclipse in 2017. And wait, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 7 years ago. Uh, and so I had plans to go to Kerrville, and I wish I had, because turns out like Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, and Bill Nye were there for that one for a planetary society event. But um, Monday morning, everything was fluid because clouds, weather, everything is weather dependent. And so, where anywhere along the path that I was going to go was about a 4 hour drive. And so I could go south, I could go east, I could go northeast, you know what I mean? And Monday morning, it looked like the only clear path in the entire state of Texas was going to be between Del Rio and San Antonio. There was just like this thin stretch of no clouds, right? And so we made the decision to skedaddle down to Del Rio, and we pulled into Amistad State Park, Lake Amistad State Park, and it was still cloudy, and nothing really we could do about that. I apparently it was cloudy um, all the way through, um, all the way through the path. Everybody had clouds, and I mean, what are you going to do? And Thank you, Beckham. Uh, Anyways, and no, I'm kind of no, not at the moment, but maybe later. Anyways, so we went. I got me and my daughter and her husband, my grandson and my cousin, and we all trucked down to Amistad State Park, and we actually watched it through the clouds. It was pretty freaking badass. I mean, even though it's going to get dark, when it gets dark, it still freaks you out. I mean, because you're just like, whoa, it's so crazy. You know what's going to happen, and it still freaks you out when it happens. It's really cool. And so we got to see it through the clouds with breaks. The clouds would clear away, and you could see pro- the umbra or whatever, and then the prominence sticking up the side, which I thought was a solar flare, but it was just a prominence. Um, it was pretty cool. So I really, it's the first time I've ever been in the path of totality. I've seen many partial eclipses all my life. I've never been in the path of totality until last Monday. And honestly, I'm now like wanting to plan to catch another one. There's one in 2026 that's going to go through. It's barely going to catch Madrid in Spain. It's going to go through Portugal and Reykjavik, Iceland. I may catch that one. There's another one in 2030 that's going to cross across Ayers Rock in Australia. Maybe, but I mean, yeah, I mean that is like what 6 years from now. I mean, like I might be dead by then. Who knows? Um, it's just one of those things. I really want to catch another one and catch one with no clouds. I mean, the clouds actually made this one a lot better because you could like look up at it pre-totality without glasses on occasion. As long as it was behind the clouds, you could be like, "Woo, oh, glasses on," whatever. But that was a good time. I did actually get to go and do and see, and it was fun. I gotta say, I had a good time, and well, no, the diamond ring thing is at the beginning and at the end of totality as the sun is peeking out from behind the moon. That's the corona that you're seeing. There were actually no recorded solar flares during the eclipse this time, but there was that one. There was a prominence that was at the five from our viewpoint at the 5:30 position, which was basically it's this loop of plasma that comes out of the sun, and it's connected to both ends, and they can last for like up to a week at a time, and and this prominence was there through the whole eclipse. It's been there for quite some time actually. And during totality, you could see that prominence sticking out from the bottom of the sun. It was pretty freaking cool. And like I said, I thought at the time when I was like, "Holy shit, that's a solar flare," and then I find out later on a solar flare is when that prominence breaks, and then it flings material out into space, called a coronal mass ejection. So there is a difference between a prominence being that loop that's connected on both ends and being the flare when that loop breaks and flings material out. So that's the difference. And it was pretty neat to be able to see it. And then I didn't take any pictures during the eclipse because I didn't want to bother with that. I wanted to just watch and experience it, which is that's something that I'm guilty of in a lot of cases. For when I do things for experience, I don't really like to bother myself with taking pictures of it. You know what I mean? And to be fair, with as many people that are going to be at this eclipse, there's going to be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of pictures that are way better than any I could have taken. And so I didn't want to waste my time worrying about getting the right picture, this, that, and the other. I just wanted to stand there and experience it. And that's what I did. And then after the fact, when I mean, I saw what I thought was a solar flare, and I was like, dude, that's so fucking cool. Well, at the same time, we're watching the live stream of Bill Nye and Tim Dodd, who are about 100 miles north of us, and they were straight north of where we were. And so, just a few minutes after our totality was theirs, and they got to see it, and then I snapped a screenshot of the prominence from their live stream. So that was pretty freaking cool. It was a good time, and Speargrass. I mean, yeah, I would totally come visit for the eclipse in Australia. It's far enough ahead that I could plan for it too. So that would be a good time, and I've always said if you can get me into Australia, uh, I might not come back. You say that mango farm will hire, huh? And no visa needed. I'm just kidding, but it's not like that. Well, it's not like that right now. What time we got? 6:33. Okay, I still got an hour and a half till mids. Anyways, so I did an experiment yesterday. I haven't worked in 10 days, something like that. Oh, it's been pretty tough. But um, what are you gonna do? Sit around and yeah, I don't know. So yesterday, it's also been really windy, And I don't know about you guys, but I hate going outside. And I'm at work, and my at work shop is outside, but covered with a carport. And so I really don't like going out there and standing out there trying to forge with my hair blowing around all up in my face, and I'm leaning over something like trying to do a chisel cut or a punch or something like that, and I swing, and then my hair comes down and hits the hot metal, and I smell it sizzle, and I'm like, "Ugh, really? Uh, uh, it happens." Anyways, um, oh, a 6 month holiday visa or not? Mm, 3 month. I think it's 3 month. I do believe 3 month is correct. Uh, uh, um, And honestly, if I got a holiday visa down there, it would only take me about a month to acquire an employer visa. Uh, oh no, I know. I literally have a bandana so I can tie everything up and all that. I know, but it's still just a thing. So if it's windy, I really don't want to invest in it. And so yesterday it wasn't windy, so I decided I'm going to try something. That this month's Blacksmith Monthly Challenge is about turning 36 inches of angle iron of 2 by 2 dimension or less into whatever you want to do. And so I was originally going to go with aluminum because I didn't think anybody else would want to go that route. And what I was going to do with aluminum turns out was going to be what I think is going to be a fairly common route to go. So I decided to go with a different route if I can get a hold of the angle iron, because that's actually a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I mean, like, yeah, I can go to freaking Ace Hardware and I can pick up a stick for $60. Or I can go to my metal supplier and pick up a stick, a 20-foot stick, for like 90. And so it's like, I don't think I have it. Um, I'm gonna when I'm at home next Friday. I'm going to run by West Texas Steel and inquire as to what I can get and whatever. But the point being, what I'm planning on doing is going to require case hardening. And so I was doing some experiments yesterday on case hardening um, with three methods that I am not familiar with. Um, and what I wanted to check was because I've got like two 5-gallon buckets of graphite powder, and then graphite is carbon. So, can you case harden with graphite powder? So, I took three pieces of half-inch round bar, cleaned them all up real nice and pretty, shined them up real nice, and I turned them some bitches sideways, and I shoved them right in the forge. But no, I took one of them and I just put in the forge and I heated it up to forge welding temperature, and then I dropped it right into the bucket of graphite. Just buried it down in the bucket of graphite to anneal. You know what I mean? And then I took the other two pieces and I built a canister. Like a inch and a half square canister, square tubing, and I dropped each one of them into the canister and surrounded them. One of them with graphite, a half inch on either end, and then all the way around it. And the other one I did in coal dust. And then I stuck both of them on the end of a stick. I welded a stick to the end of handle, and I stuck them both in the forge. And I brought the forge and the canisters up to forge welding temperature, like all the way up to where even when you picked them up and out, the underneath them was still the same temperature. So they were hot, hot, hot. And then I shut the forge off and let those cool in the forge to room temperature, all surrounded by the bricks and all that. And I yeah, late last night, I opened up the canisters and pulled my little slugs out, and I pulled the one out of the bucket of graphite. And I'll tell you right now, the bucket of graphite didn't do a goddamn thing. Didn't do shit. There was no Instagram. Yes. Anyways, there was no discernible difference. And then and I took pictures, or I tried to take pictures today to show the spark tests and whatever, and they're so vague that there was no point in me trying to upload them to try to show you guys what the spark test looked like. But so the other two pieces, the one of them that I cooked in the graphite and the one of them that I cooked in the coldest. The one I cooked in graphite didn't do all. I left all three in ferric chloride overnight to etch, and honestly, that told me nothing because they all just turned black, and there's no nickel content. There's no 15 and 20. They didn't do anything. And so the one that I did in coal dust, however, while it looks the same as the others, it sparks on the outside as high carbon steel. It's got the it's got all the little sparklers at the end. So by encasing it in coal dust, that actually created enough carbon migration to give me a high carbon. I don't know how deep it was or whatever. It doesn't seem like to me. I mean, just going off of it, doesn't seem as good of a case hardening as I'm able to do with like flux and cast iron powder. Cast iron powder really like puts that carbon migration in there, but um, that was oh man, this is what an ad. This thing is a 30, yeah, 31. This thing is supposed to give me notifications, and it's not. So it's supposed to say, "Hey, we're giving your people an ad," so I can be like, "Okay, I'm gonna go pee while you guys are watching an ad." And I also have it set so you're all supposed to get an ad. All supposed to get an ad at the same time instead of speckle. I don't know. I thought I had that. It is at 31 minutes, and they're set at 30-minute intervals, which is as far apart as I can put them. Sorry about that. Bourbon commercial. I wish I'd have seen it. I want a bourbon commercial. And industrial lubricants. Well, Kevin, you would definitely need industrial lubricants. Um, I can see where that's that's funny. You all got different ads, but they're all custom tailored to your own uh, um, algorithm. You know what I mean? Ugh. I wish I see that kind of makes me mad because YouTube is supposed to let me know so that I can pause the ad to finish what I'm saying. And I got nothing. Nothing popped up saying, "Oh, hey, um, hold on. No, hold on." So I don't have a deal here. Um, oh man. Sorry. I'm yeah. I'm getting flustered. Thanks, Instagram. Beckham 91910. Yeah, you got me all flustered here. My first time multi-streaming to different platforms. I'm planning on being able to eventually hit all the platforms at the same time. Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, uh, OnlyFans, whatever. I mean, I can't do OnlyFans at the same time. That's the one exception. That's got to be all by itself. So uh, that's just the thing. Anyways, I have YouTube Red, so I would see you try to sneak out. Oh yeah, see, I had the premium YouTube for a little bit, and then but I only bought it because it's like, oh, you got to have YouTube Red to download a video, and I was trying to edit videos and whatnot. And then so I got YouTube Red, and I was like, oh, I can only download videos to watch later, not download videos to edit and re-upload. They cheated me. Hey Andy, what's going on? Glad you could pop in for a minute, or however long. Anyways, So let me see. Industrial just means heavy duty, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, industrial lubricant. Yep, that heavy duty. There you go. You know, that's just the way it goes. So, anyways, I so followed a squirrel right there, you guys. I'm sorry about that. It happens. I did mention in the um thing that I posted yesterday that I was going to chase every squirrel I could. Just if nothing else, just to avoid the what I said that today's subject was going to be about, because it makes me nervous. It gives me anxiety, and I don't really like talking about it. But I've had several conversations with other people, and they're like, "Hey, you should really do this. You should really do this. I think it'd be all right." And I'm just like, anyways. At the end of the day, anyways, what I found out was through my experiment was that you know, like I could case harden something with coal dust in an enclosed environment. And I mean, it's not as efficient as cast iron powder, but because of the nature of this month's uh, um, challenge, um, I feel like if I were to forge weld in, if I was to get my pieces hot and forge weld in cast iron powder or add cast iron powder to my flux, that it would not be in the spirit of the challenge. And so I don't want to do that. So I was trying to find another way to introduce carbon into my angle iron prior to continuing on with the project. And like if I were on in any normal circumstance, if I were going to introduce carbon into Andy, I'm talking about all kinds of things. This is an episode of Alexis Unhinged on YouTube, and I'm discussing um, my experiment yesterday about case hardening some mild steel. And then I'm going to be going into what it's like to be a trans woman in the blacksmithing community. Um, yeah. And anyway, so I figured that I wasn't going to be able to add cast iron powder to my flux, whatever. I figured that's kind of cheating because you're not allowed to use any other material. And so I don't want to do that. So I was doing these experiments to see if I could add carbon to my angle iron beforehand, rather than doing it after the fact. Because I don't know, I thought maybe it might etch cool and have a Damascus like pattern if I added carbon to it. And see if I'm saying too much and it's going to give away what I'm doing, and I really don't want to do that. But and Robert Lonis, no, I know you. It's there's no point. I mean, like for what it would cost you to send me the angle iron, I could just go buy the angle iron, and I won't know until next week. Next week, like I said, I'm gonna go hit my steel supplier and find out if they'll sell me 5 or 10 feet. Because literally, I can either buy a 3 foot section for the same. You know what I mean? It's a 3 foot section at the small box store is so expensive that it's unreasonable, but at the big box, or not the big box, okay, I got that backwards. But at the steel supplier, it's like I got to buy a 20-foot stick. And if I got to buy a 20-foot stick, it's like, the fuck am I going to do with the other 18 feet of 17 feet of angle iron? Arr. Anyways, I'll find out next week what I have. I've got to go look at my stock when I get home. I know I don't have it here. And no, I did not try charcoal. I did want to try charcoal, but it I don't have any. I mean, so it was I wasn't gonna go buy a 30-pound bag of or $30 bag of lump charcoal just to do this experiment with, because there's nothing else I can do. I mean, I could forge with it, but it's so much less efficient than my coke or my coal or whatever. But um, anyways, I'll find out next week if I have the angle iron available to make this happen. And if not, well, okay, so what I'll do first, because I'm going to town first, is I'll check with West Texas Steel, and if it's reasonable, I'll just buy a stick, whatever, and then come home. And if I had some already, well, now I've got more. But if it's not reasonable, we'll figure it out. I'll get some either way. It's not like it's outside my wheelhouse or outside my uh, affordability. It's just we'll see. I like being able to make my own material, but in this case, angle iron, I don't have a break, so it is what it is. Um, okay, and so with that, I think I've stalled long enough, and I'm going to get into the heat of the thing. And so, everybody, drink. Yeah. So I have an outline here because I'm cool like that, and you guys can kind of all see it. Um, I had brought up in a few chats. I don't know. Let me grab my dinner right quick because y'all are not gonna believe what I'm eating for dinner. Hold on, I got it. So, let me see here. YouTube. Oh, maybe I can get it. I gotta block the light. Instagram. Soylent, and it's green. So, yeah, Soylent Green. Come on. You got to be a certain age to understand Soylent Green. I've never seen the movie, but I literally just rented it on Amazon Prime today. I know what it's about. I know the premise, but I've never actually watched it. So, like today or tomorrow, I'm actually going to watch the movie for the first time. So it's people, but I'm having to adjust my diet due to getting blood work done on Eclipse Day on the 8th. On our way back through, I stopped and got my blood work done for my doctor's appointment next week. And my estrogen was so freaking high, it's scary. And my triglycerides were so freaking high, it's scary. And so I really have to work on my diet and get my triglycerides down. I'm not happy about it, but the only thing worse than dying of a stroke is living through a stroke. I mean, oh God, I don't want to be a vegetable. So I'm working on my diet, and 2 meals a day are Soylent, and then 1 day of veggies and high whatever type protein, a high oily protein like fish, chicken, not chicken. Chicken's just a stand-in, but like fish, whatever. But anyways, so and I have not had the mint yet. I've had the chocolate a long time ago. I've had the strawberry. The strawberry is really good. But I went to Walmart today, and the mint and the banana were on clearance. So damn foil, foiled again. And I hope she is. It isn't eating puppies. No, no, Kevin. It's Soil and Green. It's people. Oh yeah, no, that's a good point. But I don't know how Clara feels about that. I mean, I really don't like putting people on the spot, and um, I'm fairly open about um, my situation, and although it gives me a bit of anxiety to talk about it, and uh, sorry, I got flustered again. Although What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, you know what? By the way, like in a forging stream, whenever you drop something, everybody's like, "Everybody drink." The drop forging joke. Well, in an Alexis Unhinged stream, whenever Alexis says, "What the fuck was I just talking about?" It's everybody drink. So, oh my god, that's amazing. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh, get in my mouth. Mm. Oh, where have you been all my life? Oh, that's really freaking good. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, I'm kind of mad that Walmart discontinued it now. Oh, whew. It's like it's like drinking a Thin Mint. It really is. It's like drinking a Thin Mint. Oh. Anyways, okay. Re- Recycled humans, yeah. Yummy people. Squirrel. So I should be watching this in the bathroom. Wouldn't hurt to ask in the future where she can say is no. Well, that's not entirely so as far as I know, she's not in the chat, and I'm trying to get her to go to Quad State next year, um, at my expense. Like I offered her to. I mean, like Yamez isn't here, and he's kind of butthurt that I'm not gonna fly to North Carolina and drive him up to Ohio. Um, but I offered Clara to fly into LaGuardia or whatever, fly in JFK, whatever, fly into New York, grab a rental car, pick her up, and drive her to Quad State, or just buy her a plane ticket and fly her over. I think it'd be cool if she could make it, and she said she was interested in going, and so I don't want to. I know in the past she's been really really scared of going about how other people would be, and worried about like the stranger danger type situation. And I've reassured her, it's like, look, if I can do it, you'll be all right. And I mean, and I guarantee, and I didn't necessarily tell her, but I told another trans friend of mine, I mean, or her wife at least, is like, look, when she's with me, I guarantee you, she's safer than with anybody else because I'm a Texan with a license to carry, and nobody's gonna mess with me. And that's just the way it is. But yeah. So, anyways, I'm trying to get Claire to come with me to Quad State. We'll see how that goes. Maybe she will. Maybe she won't. I've been trying for a couple years. Once I secured her an invite to the coffee grounds and whatever, and if she makes it, she does. If she doesn't, she doesn't. I mean, like everybody's got their own things going on, but um, yeah, and I man, an interview show would be really good. I mean, like I think we really could do a good show. Anyways, okay, squirrel done. Let's get on with the subject of the show. What is it like to be a trans woman in the blacksmithing community? Um, when I first started down this road, um, I was scared, not just in the general sense of the normal um, transgender experience, because in the couple years leading up to me becoming me, I had become a part of a community, the YouTube blacksmithing community. Got a forge, got some anvils, and then um, I, yeah, I mean, like I had to do what I had to do to stay alive because it really came down to that. I mean, what are you gonna do? I thought like the things that ran through my head is I'm gonna lose credibility. Like from now on, things I say, nobody's gonna take into account. I'm gonna not matter. Nobody's gonna listen to what I have to say. So, I thought that was gonna happen. I also thought that everybody in the community was gonna just, like, turn their back on me and be like, "Yeah, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but, you're not one of us." I literally thought that's the way it was gonna go. I thought I was gonna lose all my friends. I thought I was gonna lose all my family, but it it really for so many years that was a reason that I never did anything, and then it just got to a point where it's like, if I have to walk this path all by myself, that's what I'm gonna have to do because that's the only path forward. I was afraid of losing my skills, losing my endurance, losing my skills, losing my ability to even do the most mundane of tasks. Um, and that was a worry, but I also knew it was something I can combat with like exercise and proper diet and this, that, and the other. But also knowing that I drive a truck and I'm sometimes sitting in that truck for 50 hours straight. How the hell do you maintain a proper diet and exercise routine when you work 100-hour work week in 4 days and then have 3 days off? You know what I mean? So it makes that very difficult. And then I was also afraid of my loss of privilege. And most of you here have no idea what I'm talking about. But white male privilege. I didn't really realize what that was until I didn't have it anymore. Uh, um, do you know how frustrating it is to be sitting there talking to somebody and then somebody else walks up and just starts a conversation right over the top of you, like doesn't even acknowledge that you were talking, and then just starts just like, and then has a whole conversation with somebody else, and they completely ignore the fact that there was this whole conversation going for the last 5 minutes beforehand. Nope, just like, yeah, yeah, whoa, hey, Bill, what do you got going on? Hey, we're gonna go over here, and it's like, oh, well, fuck me too. I'll just go over here and do this. Yeah, that happens now, and that's freaking weird. That shit didn't used to happen. Another thing that really worried me a bit was overcompensation. Chas Walker, how's that going? It's going pretty good. We've had a pretty interesting night so far, talking about this, that, and the other blacksmithing related, and now we're um, into the shit, so to speak. Overcompensation. So uh, um, I was having to work. So early on in my transition. Um, w- it's a stage that we call like baby trans, where you go like full femme, and you're overdoing it. You don't know what you're doing with makeup, and so you look like a fucking clown. And you're wearing clothes that are so inappropriate. It's like you're embracing the whore. And, and I don't know how else to explain it, but it looks ridiculous, and everybody goes through it in this situation. And so I was having to concentrate on just like not so I spent a fair amount of time trying to dress down, like trying to do boy mode as much as I could. I mean, like not that I was trying to hide who I was, but I was trying to look more um normal, so to speak. Like not normal, such a that's a fucked up word for me to use about myself. Um I was trying to look more um conform to the group, you know what I mean? And so I would carefully dress myself down, and try to look less um whatever, I don't know. As opposed to my everyday life, as opposed to, the way I dress in everyday life, which was still very subdued, in my opinion. Every once in a while, I went a bit too far, and I went out in public, and in hindsight, I was like, oh fuck. You can't pull that look off if you're over 17, and you're 47. What the fuck were you thinking? You know? But um, also another thing that's a little bit different is I became a little bit more critical of my work. Every blacksmith is their own worst critic, and you know, I look at what I do, and I'm like, I could have done that better. Everybody does that, right? And I became a little bit more critical, like to the point, like, oh, you're just not good enough to do that. You just don't have the skills to be able to do that right. Um, you shouldn't try doing that because you don't have the ability, you don't have the artistic talent to do that. Look, you tried, and it looks like a pile of dog shit. So know your role, stay in your lane, and that was really tough for me because I was self-limiting myself. Like I look at the things I would create, and I would just say, Alexis, you can't do that. It's just, you tried your hardest and it came out like shit, or you burned it up or whatever. And you know recognize what you can and can't do and stick with that. you know and in all honesty, in hindsight, that's that's not very healthy. I mean, and that's a big reason why I'm a part of this blacksmith monthly challenge thing, is because it challenges me to do something it's always outside my wheelhouse, and it always makes me find a way to get it. I know there's no way I'm gonna fucking win. It's not gonna happen because Bobby's in the group. Nobody can beat Bobby. I mean, come on. Uh, I mean, he's a badass, but it challenges me to do better and do things that are outside my wheelhouse and learn new processes and refine my skills and do a better job and be a better blacksmith, even though I'm only doing it for fun. And like I'm not trying to make money at this, because the as soon as I try to make money at blacksmithing, it becomes my job. And I love blacksmithing. It's fun to me. I don't want it to be a job. um, I have a real job, and I love my job, and I would do my job for free if I was, independently wealthy. But blacksmithing, I want it to remain a hobby and a passion. I don't want it to become something. I don't ever want it to become something that I have to do to pay the bills. You know what I mean? If I want to make tent stakes, I want to make tent stakes because I want to make tent stakes, not because I've got to get this order out, or I'm not going to be able to pay the electric bill. You know what I mean? So I don't ever want it to be my job. It's always just going to be a hobby and something that I do purely for fun. And for a hot minute there, um, uh, uh, um, I was trying to convince myself that I was never going to be good enough to have fun at doing this. And let's see, more critical of value of self. Um, Yeah, I'm gonna skip that one, because I already kind of covered that. Reality versus expectation. So, I expected when I came out to be basically just yeeted right out of the blacksmithing community. Like, nobody's gonna want to have anything to do with me. Nobody's gonna want to talk to me. Nobody's gonna want to acknowledge that they know me. Nobody's gonna want to acknowledge that they were my friend beforehand. That was my expectation, and reality was so fucking different. I mean, it blew my freaking mind. Like in 2022, or 2021, I had the coming out tour, where I traveled across the country, and I sat down with every single person that was in my tight friend group and had a one-on-one conversation with them about what was going on, about my cancer diagnosis, and later revelation that that was a mistake, and they got it wrong, and I'm not actually going to die, and how that evolved into who I am today. and every single person was supportive and been like, "Hey, we don't care. Just you be you, and it doesn't matter to us." And it really blew my mind that everybody was so accepting and just like, "Cool, okay, whatever, well, you do you. I mean, like, it doesn't affect me, yada, yada, all that rigmarole." A week after the fact, I did have one friend call me and take back their support and tell me that they never wanted to have anything to do with me ever again. Um, and that's their right. I mean, I'm sad. That was a good friend, but I mean, hey, they got a right to their opinion just as much as I have a right to mine, and I'll not hold that against them. And if they ever come back my way, I'll forgive them in a heartbeat and give them a big old hug. I don't hold. I try not to hold grudges, and I don't know. I'm just not a dick like that. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, yeah. I expected to be she who shall not be named. Um, Yeah, I also thought that was kind of going to be a thing, like where I was like walking around the outside of the community, like, "Hey, hey, remember me? Hey," you know, or drop into the chat and drop in comments, and then just nobody would even recognize that I was there. Nobody would acknowledge that I was there. That I would just fall into obscurity because everybody would just ignore me. And I thought that was going to be a consequence, and that yeah, that never happened. Good luck shutting. It turns out, good luck shutting me out. I will hunt you down. I have a particular set of skills. I will find you, and I will comment at you. Um, another little aspect is like the information that I provide during the Impractical Blacksmith podcast, the Sunday morning show. I thought that my role would be greatly reduced. I thought that my thoughts and opinions and information would be considered less valid. It would have less weight to it. That I would just kind of be around. I mean, I already knew like they weren't going to boot me from the show because I mean, I'm 30% of it. Come on now. But I did think I was going to fall into a lesser role of not mattering. And what's going on, Keith? Happy Friday. I've been waiting to get in that for a minute. Um, and then it brings me to my last bullet point on my outline is moving forward. Um, yeah, I'm here to learn new things. You know that? I mean, like, my interaction in the YouTube community isn't about like me teaching you guys anything because let's be fair, I'm not going to teach you guys shit. I mean, like, okay, maybe I can teach you a little bit of this, that, and the other in the trans community, but I mean, to be fair, you guys don't care about that shit. I mean, you care about me, maybe, I guess, but I mean, the intricacies of the things that I'm going through and the world at large really don't concern you guys. That's more of a me thing. But I'm here to learn new things in the respect of like, you know, the blacksmith challenge stuff. I mean, that's such a good example of it's like, this is what I got to do. How am I going to do it? Okay, what if we do this? I've never done that before. Well, let's fucking figure it out. Let's fucking figure it out. Come on, and I love that. I love being able to learn new things. And right there with learning new things is I love being wrong. Like if you can show me that I'm wrong about something, oh, I that to me is just such a revelation. I love that. And not many people feel that way. Most people kind of get bent when you show them that they're wrong and they refuse to acknowledge it. But I love being wrong. I learn something every time that happens, and it does happen. Um, I'm also here to teach new things. because because I have this forum uh, I get to talk to all of you guys on a fairly regular basis. Every Sunday morning, we get in here and we back and forth, and then we got the other live streams like Roy and Troy. Well, I'm not in Troy's so much very often because I'm typically busy when he goes live, but several of Jack. I mean, several of the other live streams. We're always in there dicing back and forth in the chat, and that's an amazing time. And even like on the show, what is it, last week or the week before, when we were talking about using a forced air, like an air compressor, forced air deal for an air source for your forge. I'm like, wait, how have I never thought of that? I mean, I still haven't. Excuse me, I still haven't done it, but I totally want to. Uh, uh, you know, um, Also, moving forward, something that I'm here to do is I give my community a window into my life. So you guys are my community, the blacksmithing community, YouTube community. Over here on Instagram, I got a couple people hanging out. Um, some of whom I've met. Um, uh, Anyways, but I'm here to give you a window into my life. Like this is who I am. This is what it's like, and take it or leave it. I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but you do have to be cordial. Um, but other than that, I mean, like, hey, uh, when I came out, the people that I work with, 90% of the people that I work with have never met another trans person in their life. And across the United States, demographically speaking, 80, I think it's 82 or 83% of Americans don't know a trans person. That includes trans people. Like 83% of trans people don't personally know another trans person. We're There's just not that many of us. We're far and few between. And for a lot of the people that I know, I'm the only trans person they know and have ever met. And when I first came out of work, people were like, "What the fuck, in the oil field?" And then after a while, everybody's just like, "Same person, same skills. She's still a badass," whatever. So I mean, like, so I'm here to give people a window into my life, and I don't really like talking about it because I think in the blacksmithing community, it makes me uncomfortable to really talk about it because I don't really want that to be a focus of things, because yes, I am transgender, but that is not who I am. It's just what I am. Who I am is Alexis. I'm a blacksmith. I'm a truck driver. I'm an oil field worker. I'm a parent. I'm a grandparent. That's who I am. And I really don't want to like focus my life on that. So although you get a window into my life, I don't want to put it out there as that being the focus of my life. Um, Achieving greater acceptance of people who are different. And that's my last little bullet point. And so, and by me putting myself out there in this community, where maybe some of you don't know any other trans person, or maybe you don't know a gay person or lesbian or any other member of the LGBTQIA community. Maybe you don't know somebody that's autistic and you know living a productive day-to-day life and just dealing with it. But the point is I put myself out there, and somebody that is now just different, like not the normal status quo heteronormative um type person. I fall into the other category of people that we're currently trying to take rights away from, and whatever happens. There's nothing I can do about all that. But um now some of you know somebody that falls into that category, and you can know that um I'm just a regular person. You know what I mean? I'm not I'm not the big scary monster that your religious leaders and politicians tell you I am. I'm just a truck driver, oilfield worker. I'm a blacksmith. All those things, and also an alcoholic. So that's always a bonus. But I'm gonna have to quit because my triglycerides are fucked right off. And man, I'm such a fan of the vodka and whiskey and tequila, and I don't know what I'm gonna do without it. So that is my spiel on what it's like to be trans in the blacksmithing community. And I have not read any of the chat while I've been going through this outline because if I read the chat, I was going to go off on a squirrel and I was not going to get through it. And when I posted yesterday that I was going to get through this outline, I meant it. And once I got, all I had to do was get started. Once I get started, I was going to finish it. And and also Andy, thanks for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you in Ohio. I guarantee you that, one way or another, anyways. All right, so let me back up in the chat and see if anything. Okay, so back up here. Here is safe. We're here to listen to your story. You know what? And I actually haven't told a lot of you guys my story. Um, but for the record, my story, the reason I am who I am and how I came to be, is only something I tell in person. I mean, Adam has it, but that's a slightly different situation because we do a show every twice a month. But um, my story is a personal thing that I really I don't like to do in any other medium than person to person, eyeball to eyeball. And I will tell anybody my story in person. Anybody. Um, I think it's a gooder. I really do. But that's just me, I guess. You almost win last month. I did not almost win. Oh, wait, or did Chas or wait, who almost won last month? It wasn't me. I only got one vote, but that had to have been somebody else. Who almost? I don't remember. Bobby won. Was it Jeff? I don't remember who came in second now. It wasn't me. No. See, the only person that voted for me was Thomas, and I think he just did that because he was sorry. He felt sorry for me. Speargrass Forge. If I'm in my comfort zone, I'm stagnant. Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, if you're just doing the things you're comfortable with doing, you're really not challenging yourself at all. Uh, I remember that call. You were amazingly brave, and I was privileged to be a part of the ones you trusted. Aw. As I said, I have you listed as friend, and I'm not going to change the paperwork. All right. Well, uh, man, and you guys are gonna make me cry. Oh man, I care about you, and though I learned to be a better person, more conscious, more accepting, being in your orbit has already helped me in my personal life. That's apart from the science and the isotopes. Oh, have I told you guys about my isotopes? Oh my gosh. Oh, you're gonna love hearing about my isotopes. So, uh, yeah. Met you at Quad State in 2021. That's all I needed to know. You were a good peeps. Robert, I swear we met before that though. Did we not meet? I thought we met in 19. Oh, maybe it was 21. Because I came in 18. I came in 19 and I had more of a crew. Skip 20. I thought I met you in 19, but no, maybe it was 21 because I met you when I set up that table. No, it was 21. That's right because I had Duncan and Crawford with me that year because I brought a whole truckload of oil field steel to the sling to try to make gas money. Uh, I am what I am. Okay, now I got to the end of the chat and we're all out of squirrels. Um, Man, I didn't know if I didn't know if I was gonna get through that. I'm only an hour and a quarter in. Um, Yay! What the fuck am I gonna do now? This is usually a 3 hour stream. What am I gonna do for the next 2 hours? My isotopes. You bet I will, Andy. Oh goodness. Woo. Sorry, y'all. The Instagram chat is off the chain. Uh, uh, Man, that's really off-putting. I'm watching the way I'm set up here. I've got the YouTube camera right here, and then I've got the Instagram camera right here, and then right behind the Instagram is the woo, the YouTube chat. And so, like, looking back and forth, whatever, going from thing to thing. I don't really look at this camera, but I'm looking at the chat and the Instagram, and on occasion, um, yeah, I look down at the Instagram chat and I just get flustered. Yeah. Oh gosh, too funny. How is my book coming? Okay, that's actually a good point. From Adam. I've actually got two books I'm writing right now. Um, they're on the other side of this spiral notebook. More in outline phase right now. My first, the first book is um kind of a chronicle of my life, a memoir, so to speak, and it's called "Changing America, One Person at a Time." And it's how it's basically a reflection of how I am a trans person in the energy industry that is perceived to be very hostile towards people like me, and how my just being here changes everybody's perception of me one person at a time. And so that's the memoir thing there. Um, and honestly, it hasn't moved in about 3 weeks. Kind of in a dry spell, not because I don't know what to write, but because I'm not really sure of the direction. Like, I've already got some things figured out, but there's a lot more planned because it's gonna tell like a work of fiction in a certain way. And with switching point of views and things like that. It's a difficult thing to really relate until you see it. And I'm also working on a work of fiction that is a pre not post apocalyptic but pre apocalyptic um, story about events leading up to the apocalypse, like 20, 30 years in the future or whatever. And the work of fiction story is starts from the point of view of a couple senators, a couple U.S. senators, so one on either side of the aisle, and switching points of view from each one of them, telling the same story. And I've that one requires a bit of research into both parliamentary procedure and lawyer speak and stuff like that, so that I get the different things right in representing the story I want to represent. Um, so I've got two books in the works, and they're outlined, but in that so the out I've got the outlines down, but now I'm in the research stage for both of them to get my ducks in a row, because I mean, if you're going to talk about introducing a bill in the Ways and Means Committee, you should kind of know how that goes before you just write about it. Or if you're bringing a bill to vote in oversight before it goes to the floor of the House, you should kind of know how that goes. So these are things that I have to research and get the procedure and steps all down, so that I can adequately convey this make believe story that I think maybe someday will catch somebody's imagination. And I have spurts of writing too. Motivation comes with the inspiration, or you. Yeah, that's exactly right. Uh, uh, the research is more. It's not like, oh, I need to write. Okay, I need to do it like this. I need to do it like this. Okay, yep. Okay, yep. It's more like I research it and then I just kind of lock it away. Okay, now I know how that's going to go. And then the same thing. Yeah, the eureka moments where you're like, oh, oh, I know where this is going to go. And then you sit down and you just like, and the words just kind of pour out. For me, it's a little bit different. But I mean, that's a bit different because I'm not really good at typing, and um, I'm gonna figure that out. But yeah, yeah, it's a good time though. I do like writing. Not as good as I like reading, but writing is fun. I've written a couple books in the past, none of them published, and I'm so glad they haven't because in retrospect they were so bad, so bad. Whatever made me think I could write a book when I was 17, I don't have any idea. But I'm so glad I only ever let one person read that shit. And Andy, you will get to read it, of course. Everybody will get to read it eventually. And those in my little circle will get to read it before it gets published, if they so desire. What do you got? I need people to proofread, because Amazon's not real good at proofreading. Yeah, that's right, Adam. It is a slog. You do have to kind of. It is a thing where you just kind of got to power through, and honestly, for me, it's not something I can force. Um, I've just got to let it flow when it's ready to flow, and not um, force it. You know what I mean? Because if I force it, it's not going to be genuine. So it's one of those things. Okay, I need to write, and I'll do it. And and if I'm in like, oh man, I really got to get a knock a chapter out. Fuck, I don't want to. All right, you know what? I'm gonna do it anyways. Let's get this shit knocked out. It's not gonna be as good as if I went, oh, I gotta write this down. Oh, this is great. I gotta, where am I at? Where am I at? Okay. Right, okay, let's go. That is gonna be better material than if I force myself to sit down and write. And so I'm letting it flow the way it flows. That's all I got on the book. See, I got some messenger messages. Mm. You know, part of my problem with adjusting my diet, because um, one of the things that I partake of on a regular basis is stay awake food. I mean, stay awake food. That's like, I'm driving down the road and I need to stay awake. So I got pretzels, I got chips, I got mini Starburst, you know what I mean? Like, just why? Because it's really hard to fall asleep with something in your mouth. Yeah, well, I mean, if you think about it, pretty hard to fall asleep with something in your mouth. Just saying. Oh man. Sorry, there was another that was a text a bit on the personal note about falling asleep with something in your mouth. Oh man. Oh, the tailpiece. If you're talking about the pommel on this, No, wrong camera. It's Makame. You can't. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this thing. No, probably not. But it's it was a stack of dimes. And then every fifth dime was silver. So it was regular dime, regular dime, regular dime, whatever. So it was a mix of regular cupro nickel dimes, and then so it was the cupro nickel dime, a 40% silver dime, a cupro nickel dime, a silver dime. 40% silver or cupro nickel, 40% silver, cupro nickel, silver. It was this weird mix of dimes from different years. Cupro nickel is 69 and above. Silver is 64 and below, and then 40% silver is 64 to 68 or 65 to 68. And so it was a stack of dimes of varying amounts of nickel, silver, and copper, and you can see it in the Instagram, but you can't really see it in the video because yeah, that's what she said. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Corn nuts. Wait, porn hut? What? Oh, corn, not porn. Corn nuts always rattled my brain enough to wake me right up. Yeah, I used to do sunflower seeds, but and then pistachios um, but then as of late, it's yeah pretzels, mini starburst, Sabritones. Oh my god, Sabritones! Let me tell you, I could eat a whole bag of those things like right freaking now. Um, that's so unhealthy, but yeah. Uh, uh, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the stay awake food though, because having to move away from carbs altogether. I mean, I guess I could like. I mean, how the hell am I supposed to eat like carrots and celery and dip them in blue cheese, like a low zero fat blue cheese dressing, while I'm driving an 80,000 pound vehicle down the road? I mean, yeah, and that's right, Robert. Corn nuts are something entirely different, and tag along at Quad State. I'll show you some. No, don't. Mm. Oh goodness. Oh yeah, the joke. Sabritones are oh man, they're like Mexican wheat snacks that are flavored like chili lime. They're just like little flat, puffy things. Um, oh, I can't. Yeah, I really have no way to describe what they are. I mean, like being from Australia. I mean, like there's there's just no worldwide equivalent. That'd be like you trying to explain to me what Vegemite is. You know, you could be like, "Nah, mate, Vegemite. It's this right here, and that's Vegemite. What do you mean? What is it? It's that right there. I mean, that's the only way I can describe Sabritones. It's like they're just Sabritones. I mean, nah, mate, you'll have to come to the states to fucking figure it out, because, yeah, and how many motherfuckers got a big old squeezy of Vegemite in their fridge? Get in my fridge. There we go. Anyways, yummy is what it is. That's right, Andy. Yummy is what it is. Although I will have to say, I'm no Rob Garman, and where I can just like suck the Vegemite right out of the container all day long, just be like, I can't do that. As much as I would like to, no. But I can put a little bit on a club cracker, and oh my god, hmm, man, Vegemite on a club cracker is shit. Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and yes, I still have some. That and to be fair, that squeezy of Vegemite is probably 5 years old, but, doesn't go bad, so so be it. Uh, uh, yeah, and yeah, no, I can't believe it either. I mean, like, Rob just, like, mows through Vegemite like it's peanut butter, and I'm just like, "What?" Eat it correctly, like, do you mean like Rob does, like, off of a spoon? Or do you mean like I do, like, put a dab on a club cracker and go, "Ugh." That's the perfect combination of sweet and salt, in my opinion. Like Vegemite on a club cracker is the perfect combination of sweet, salty, buttery. It's just it's right there. I mean, like, it's choice. All out of Soylent Green. Uh, Hardcore Aussies don't even eat it like Rob. I know, right? It's like it's like, whew, how's your blood pressure? Not high enough. Needs more needs more Vegemite. Old smoky moonshine. Hey, that brings me to a whole nother subject. Small doses. That yeah, Andy, that's right. I mean, honestly, Vegemite, like just a, I don't know, I don't know if you've ever had Vegemite or not, Andy. Um, it is it's an Australian curiosity if you're an American, and I mean, like I just had to like get on Amazon and order some. I'm just like, all right, yeah. I remember, when we first started this little shindig, uh, 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 um, Speargrass Forge. Adam's like, dude, I'll send you some. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. International shipping, all that shit. No, no, no. I can just order that shit on Amazon and have it here next week. It'd be all good. And so I got me some Vegemite, and I'm just like, all right, let me try it out because Adam's like, yeah, try it on toast. I'm not a big fan of toast, but I give it a shot. I'm like, man, this would be really good on a cracker. I tried it on a cracker. I'm like, that's pretty decent. What about a club cracker or a Ritz? Oh man, on Ritz or club crackers, it's just and you don't need a lot. Just a little smidge, because if you get too much, it's just all you taste is the Vegemite. It's just salt. It's like just taking a big old chunk off of the salt lick and just chewing on it. If it were soft, but yeah, just a smidge of Vegemite on a club cracker or Ritz cracker. Man, it's good stuff. My high school chemistry teacher was Australian and gave us all the chance to have a taste. I liked it. Yeah, I mean, like, that's right on. Uh, I like it. I like it myself, but in moderation. I mean, like when I first got my Vegemite, man, I ate it all the time because it was new. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, it's this new thing that I've got, and I'm gonna eat it on everything. And now it's just like every now and then. I mean, like it's not an everyday thing, but every now and then I'm just like, oh, let me get some club crackers. Oh, let me throw some Vegemite on that. It just sits there in my fridge. It'll never go bad as far as I know. Um, it does have an indefinite lifespan. It's kind of like what is the American equivalent? What's the thing that never goes bad in the states? Spam or no? I don't know because when I was in elementary school, they tried to feed us spam that was green, and they're like, "Oh, it's still good. No, it doesn't go bad. Uh, the color has nothing to do with it." Yeah, yeah. Um, hmm, I can't think of it. Oh yeah, well yeah, honey doesn't go bad, but that's not entirely what I meant. I was thinking of something man-made that they say, oh, it just lasts forever and it'll never go bad. Ah, but honey is a good equivalent because It'll last forever as well. And where are we at? Over here. Oh, Twinkies. There you go. Yeah. That's a that is a good example. Yep, Twinkies. Andy and Robert Lonis both said it at the same time. Twinkies. Yep, that's the one I was thinking of. That thing that'll 20 years from now, it's still good. I mean, maybe not good, but there's no mold and it's still edible. Mm. Woo. That's two down for the night. I am way behind on my usual schedule. What time is it? 7:36. It's not time to check out just yet. I've got 14 minutes to med time. Oh, wait, 36, 7, 8, 9, 40, 24 minutes to med time. And I'm going to call it after that. So, Twinkie isotopes. Okay, Kevin. So So there are some little known isotopes of Twinkies. All right. There's Twinkies 245 and Twinkie 247. Now Twinkies 245 have a half life of 7.5 years. And they quickly degrade into a Twinkie 244, which is your average Twinkie with the 150 200 year half life. Now Twinkies 247, um, they on the other hand are something completely different, and they've got a half life of about 3 weeks, and they decompose into a ho ho 243. Now Ho Ho's 243, they've got like a 75-year half life, and so they usually get consumed before they're able to degrade. Bam! How isotopes of Twinkies, bitch. Off the cuff. Mm. I'm pretty impressed with myself. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty impressed with that. That was literally off the cuff the whole way. It's not very often that I can come up with isotopes like that. With some reasonable half-lives and granddaughters, you know what I mean? El presidente. All right. Woo. Put them in a time capsule. No, I would totally agree. I would totally agree there. Wait, where was it? Oh, Adam. Vegemite is more like lead. It's a much more stable isotope. No, 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 no. So in the world of chemistry, lead is the end product of every radiotopic isotope. Everything higher than lead in the periodic table eventually um, um, degrades down. Not degrades. Um, Goes down to lead. Lead is the end product of every single radioisotope. I mean, sometimes that half life is 1,000,000 years. Sometimes that half life is 4 billion years. I mean, like at the end of the day, everything heavier than lead in the periodic table will trickle down and become lead eventually. So it is the heaviest stable element that does not decompose. And a side note, the half life of hydrogen is so long that it's unknowable. Like the universe is 14.537 billion years old, and as of yet, not a single atom of hydrogen has ever decomposed. So we're still waiting to see what the half life is. Um, and I don't think you can count when you smack a proton in the Large Hadron Collider and break it up into a bunch of quarks and bosons. And I don't really think that counts when you do it unnaturally. But no, what I'm saying is eventually Twinkies will become lead, lead in your ass or lead in your pencil. Look at it how you want. I know. I could use a little bit more lead in my pencil, but oh, my number two pencil was gold. Oh my goodness. Oh, lead. I'm sorry. That all just went in the right damn direction. Oh, so if Twinkies are lead, are going to come lead, are going to become lead, whether that's lead in your pencil or lead in your ass, and Vegemite is going to turn into something. Ah, man, I don't know. I mean, I've smeared some Vegemite on some bread before. I kind of know what it looks like. It doesn't look like lead. I'm just saying. Oh my goodness, I'm 19 minutes away from commercial time, and of course I'm so mad that YouTube does not notify me when it's about to run an ad. This is so contrary to the way I set this up. Oh well, whatever. YouTube's looking at me going, "Stupid is, stupid does." Oh my goodness. Oh, Vegemite can't break down further. It goes out like it goes in, smeared on something. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh yes, yeah. That's such a fair. Oh, that's funny. Ding dongs emit morons as opposed to bosons, and lead wishes it was Vegemite. Oh, I'm sure because at least then it would be lead in your pencil and not a smear on your paper. Yeah, Adam, that was pretty good. I gotta say, Vegemite can't break down further. It comes out like it goes in, smeared on something. That was good. Yeah. That's Adam, my co-host. Adam with Speargrass Forge. He's one of the co-hosts of my Sunday morning show. So, uh, um, you'd like him, Andy. He's good people. Man. Yeah, YouTube settings are like the closed door button on an elevator. It does nothing. Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, okay, if I just set this up like this, like let YouTube determine when to run my ads. Sitting here watching the chat, people are like ad, 2 minutes later ad. Nobody gets them at the same time. They're just randomly sprinkled about. And so I can't just be like, okay, hold on, there's an ad. Let me just pause what I'm saying. Okay, everybody, we're back, and No, I can't do that because everybody gets them at a random time. So this time I picked, okay, let's do ads every 30 minutes, everybody at the same time, and let me know when it's going to go so that if I need an extra 30 seconds or a minute to finish my thought, I can do that. And then I can just say, hey, okay, we're going to take an ad break right quick, click, and then I can run off and pee or, whatever. And not once has it told me shit And I don't know there's an ad until somebody goes, "Oh, I just got an ad for industrial anal lubricant." Um, fuck, I've been needing some of that. Um, yeah, I guess I should know because they're supposed to hit every half hour, so they should go every half hour. But yeah, whatever. Ah, man, that's got to go on an Australian T-shirt somewhere, sometime. I'm from the imaginary continent. NASA owes me millions. Oh wait, but what? I don't get that joke there, Speaker ass. What? All right, Andy. You have a good night. See you later. Um, bye. Get a good night's sleep. Oh wait, tomorrow's Saturday. You don't have to work. What the fuck? And you're out. Oh well. People say Australia doesn't exist. We are paid actors. Flat Earth, flat Earther joke, maybe. Yeah, I could see that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end my Instagram live since my only viewer is fucking checked out in video. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's out of the way. Yeah, Andy's good people. I met her at Quad State last year. Well, I didn't meet her at Quad State. I met with her while I was at Quad State. She was a TikTok personality, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm from Troy, Ohio." I was like, "No shit, I'm gonna be there in September." And she's like, "Let me know when. We'll go have beers." And we went and had beers. Cool people. We're gonna hang out again this year. Anyways, oh my goodness, man. You guys have been on the ball tonight. I tell you what, if it wasn't for the chat, I would have ran out of content after like 45 minutes. But that being said, oh wait, what? Hmm. I'm sorry. Just I'm rereading that Instagram or not that meta message I got just a little while ago, and I'm like, wait, what? Hmm. In Australia's okay. I get you. I get you. Whew. So, Adam, you were inviting me down for a fucking eclipse. I don't know, here in the near future. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the one in 28 or the one in 30? I don't know, and I'm just because like I thought the one that was in the sooner one was just going through like Western Australia and clipping Sydney. And then I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I went through a whole thing of all of the eclipses for the next like 100 years the other day, and I know one of them was going to be mostly in Western Australia, clipping Sydney. One of them was going to be in Iceland and Spain and Portugal. One of them was going to be going across. Oh my God, the best one was going to be going across Egypt, and like the prime spot to view it was going to be from the city of Karnak, and it's like 6 minutes of totality from Karnak, and it's just that's fucking amazing. It's the longest totality until 2141. Um, Obviously, persons like me can't go to Egypt even to visit. So, Egypt is outside of my ability to travel to. So, Australia, or it's either going to be Australia in 28, or it's going to be Iceland in 26. I don't know. We'll see. Probably, if I don't go in 26 to Iceland to Reykjavik, then I'll be able to save up and go to Australia. That'd be cool though. I don't have people in Reykjavik. I got people in Australia though. It's clips during the day and full Milky Way at night. Man, I haven't seen the full Milky Way in like, God, 20 years, something like that. It's been a long time since I've been somewhere with no light pollution and high enough altitude that like all you could see. Oh man, it's something else to be at like fucking 14,000 feet and being like more than 50 miles away from the closest artificial light. I mean, oh man, I miss that shit. So yeah, I'll look further into that. I mean, like, cause I do have a passport, and provided the oil field doesn't crash, I have sufficient income to do some shit like that if I save up. Oh yeah, yeah. No light pollution in the Pathage Valley. Yeah, 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 yeah. I did read that the whole thing was going to be out like in the middle of freaking nowhere. But I do believe that's the same one that's going to clip Sydney, like right at the end, like right at the end of the Pathage Valley is going to clip Sydney for like 3 or 4 minutes of totality there. Or was it Sydney or Perth? Fuck, I don't know. I think it was Sydney. But anyways, here and there. Yeah. 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 Because there you go. Oh man. All right. I have got 7 minutes to go. Anybody got anything else you want to add? You want to ask? I know. I mentioned in my deal if anybody had any questions that you wanted to ask, even if you felt they were inappropriate, you could go ahead and ask them. I didn't care. Um, if anybody wants to go that route, go ahead. I got 7 minutes. I'm going to call it a night. Not that I have anything else to do, but I do have to pee, and I've got some salmon in the oven, making some cedar plank salmon at 200 degrees, and I need to pull out and portion up and vacuum seal for my next 2 weeks. Proceeds will carry you there, just like Adam's book will bring him to quad state. Man, there is no way I'm gonna finish my book by then. In either one of them. I mean, like the one that's a memoir, me changing America one person at a time. That's easily a 10-year project. That's gonna take me. Oh, God damn it! I fucking smeared my shit. That's easily gonna take me a decade to write because it's still a work in progress. And then the other one, the work of fiction, it's a story like I feel like I need to write because it's in here and I've got to get it out, but I don't know if anybody's gonna like it. I don't know if anybody's gonna read it. I mean, um, it's yeah, it's just gonna be I don't know, whatever. Uh, I'm not writing the book to make money. I'm writing the book because it's a story that I feel like I have to tell. You know what I mean? It's I smeared my shit. Another T-shirt. Well, good for you, Trail Dust. Uh, so the T-shirt's gonna be like quote I smeared my shit end quote. Trail Dust 55. Kind of like what is it? How's that shirt go? That's in quotation mark, and then she. Yeah, it's yeah. One of my writer hero type people is John Doyle. He's the mind behind the TikTok channel Turnaround Allen back in the day. Oh, I smeared my shit. Yeah, yeah, because I smeared my eyeshadow. I felt it drag when I rubbed my eye. Okay, got you. Uh, eh, and John Doyle, when he wrote the Phoenix Cycle Book One, um, it took him 10 years. It took him 10 years to publish it, and then it took him another 5 years for Book Two, and then a year for Book Three, and then 6 months for Book Four. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, so the first one was definitely the hurdle, but then there and like Book Two, he wrote on his phone, like literally, he wrote Book Two on his phone while he was at work on an oil platform out in the Gulf of Mexico. That's impressive. If you guys haven't ever heard of John Doyle, I'd suggest. I mean, if you like time travel and that sort of thing, it's a really good read on it. Kindle Unlimited. Um, and if you don't know what I'm talking about or whatever, if you got TikTok, check out Turnaround Allen. Check out some of their older stuff because Alan and John got separated last hitch. So, 6, 7 months ago or whatever. So the channel's not what it used to be. John wound up giving Turnaround Allen to Alan, and he just runs the John Doyle channel. And yeah, it was a really good thing for the first couple of years of John being like, "Hey, Alan, who's your favorite Pokemon?" And Alan's on the other side of the room, never turns around and being like, and I don't know Pokemon names, but he just rattle off some name while never turning around. And so, like, for a whole 2 years, he never knew he was being filmed and put on TikTok. He was just answering questions to his coworker on the other side of the room. And it was a good premise. Turnaround Allen. So if you haven't ever checked it out, check it out. It's a good thing to go check out the backlog, and the newer stuff's not so good because they got separated. But whew, one-liner teas, yeah, one-liner teas are nice. I mean, like, especially when it's an inside joke, like when you got a T-shirt, it's like that, and it's like says safety third, you know. No, and that's a good point, Keith. The biggest part of the first book is laying down That's right, laying down the foundation and character building. Um, because once you get people invested in the characters and the backstory, you know what I mean? Because that first book is all about the backstory of the characters and getting the reader invested into that character or those characters or that team or whatever it is. And once you're invested in these people, it doesn't even matter how shitty the next one is. You still want to read it. And then after that one, you're like, all right, the next one's got to be better or whatever. I mean, because I mean, there's a guy I read, Rick Brown, that writes a book every 3 months. And I mean, like, oh, it's mind-numbingly long because there are four there are 4 chapters to the book or the series, and each chapter has 15 episodes, and each episode is a book, and it takes him 3 months to write each book. And so, like, I'm in chapter 3 or whatever, chapter 3, episode 8, and like in 2 months, like episode 8 just came out last month, and into February 25th. But it's gonna be 3 months before episode 9 comes out, and I'm just like, and I've still got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I've still got 6 plus 15 episodes of chapter 4. Each one of those books, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, 21 more books left in the series. 21 books left in the series. Each book 3 months apart. And it literally takes me 3 hours. And I read every single one of them in one sitting. It takes me 3 hours to read the book. And I'm just like, woo! I mean, it's not Breaking Bad good, but each one of them still like leaves you like wondering, like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? It's such a thing, and I hate that. I'm in the middle of like 8 different book series right now, where I'm not in the middle of them. I'm just waiting for the next one to come out because I'm a fan of series sci-fi. I like reading series sci-fi because of the whole character investment, and I don't like reaching the end of someone's story. I like it to keep going. So I like series sci-fi. And yeah, so I've got so many series where and I'm subscribed to all of them on Kindle Unlimited. And so when the next one drops, Kindle was like, hey, the next book in a series you've been reading just released. And I'm like, boom, download, finish it today. And, I wish people could write faster. I really do. And yeah, no, Keith, that's for sure. Sounds like the this series by Rick Brown would make an amazing TV show. Like I really wish this guy would get in with somebody on some on a development deal, because this book would make a really really good TV show. Uh uh I mean, at least, I mean, like it's definitely worth 5 seasons of Netflix. Netflix, 8 to 10 episodes, it would definitely do 5 seasons for a sci-fi show. Um, I think it'd be a really good, but I mean, hey, everybody's in charge of their own fucking product development and artistic license. So I was gonna write a book with literally no character development, and just when you get to know one character, the book jumps. Oh no, no, oh that would no. Oh, that would just oh, I couldn't handle that. I really couldn't. Like I was watching Vikings, the TV show Vikings, and like I was like not all the way through it, maybe 2/3 or something like that. I don't know. And then we're at the spring fling up in at Charming Hollow Forge, and like 20 people standing around, everybody's hollering, everybody's drunk, and Hans is like, it's kind of like in Vikings when Ragnar dies, and I was like, no. And he's like, wait, you didn't know? I was like, um I'm at season such and such, episode such and such, he's not dead yet. And he's like, oh, sorry about your bad. Like, I've never watched another episode since. just like just like knowing he's gonna die, I'm just like, I'm done. You know, because like I'm so invested in his character. I mean, like I can't imagine the show without him. And Thomas, how are you doing? You've been listening. Bad boy. You're supposed to let us know when you're lurking. Hmm. Shit, my alarm went off. Happy pills and titty skittles. Ah, Yeah, I mean, so Keith, I mean, if you think about it, like the way The Walking Dead did their main characters, like you would just get right into the show, and you would get invested in these characters, and then a main character would die, and then like 3 weeks later, another main character would die, and then new people would come in, and so there was this constant revolving cast, and and if you'd asked who can't they kill off in The Walking Dead? That answer is nobody because they killed everyone off. I mean, like, oh, they could never kill Carl. They fucking killed Carl. Well, they could never kill Rick. They fucking killed Rick. I mean, talk about a mind blowing, just mind blowing way to like off your characters and fuck with your audience. I mean, like nobody did that until The Walking Dead. I mean, like, okay, yeah, Breaking Bad offed main characters, but you kind of knew it was going to happen ahead of time. Like they had it coming, all of them. When you knew Gus was going to get it, you knew Tuco was going to get it. You knew Crazy Eight was going to get it. The same thing with Nodos. You knew these people were going to die eventually in The Walking Dead, they died, and you were left there looking at the screen with tears in your eyes, going, "No, that's not fair. No, what am I gonna do?" I mean, like it was crazy. I mean, and so I mean, like, uh, from that standpoint, Keith, I can see it. It is like the shock and awe of it is credible. Um, oh man, I still fucking hate it though because once I'm invested in a character, by God, I want that character to live forever. There's no plot armor in The Walking Dead. No, there is not. After they locked up Negan, well, you understand Negan didn't stay locked up, right? I mean, that was a very short temporary situation. So, I mean, um, if you stopped watching because they locked up Negan, I mean, that's all of a couple episodes. I mean, that shit got way deeper later. And I did like, and I gotta say, Kevin, I'll see you, man. You have a good night. We're gonna be a few more minutes, but not too much. I will have to say, Negan was one of the first. Well, okay, the second probably bad guy that I liked. I mean, I will say, like, I liked Walter, even though Walter White in the show was a bad guy. He was the bad guy you're supposed to root for. So I liked Walter White, but when you read or watch the interviews with um like Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul, or Vince Gilligan, they're all like, "Oh, the way we're painting Walter White is you're supposed to hate him. You're supposed to think he's a piece of shit, and you're supposed to be against him the whole way." And I'm like, man, I've been fucking rooting for Walter White the whole goddamn time. I don't know why. I mean, like he was the best anti-hero. So he was the bad guy I loved to hate, even though I didn't really think he was the bad guy at the time. But then in The Walking Dead, man, I really dug Negan. I mean, like he had this air of confidence, like, I mean, just like, yeah, I mean, he had this air of badassery that just surrounded him. Like, hey, as misguided as he was, I mean, like he was a fucking insurance salesman that picked up a bat and became a badass, and I appreciated that. Negan was good shit. All right, there. See you, Jeff. You have a great weekend. Hope to see you Sunday. Yeah, I don't think I watched the last season, like season 8, but I think I watched through 7 and then it just kind of fell off once like shortly after like Rick left the show, I just lost interest. I mean, like it was really good up till that point, and then afterwards I was just like, meh. And yeah, if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't. I mean, like it fell out of um, it fell out of my realm of oh, I've got to watch that. You know what I mean? And yeah, Walter White was supposed to be a bad guy, and you were supposed to hate him. And I'm like, that's I don't know. I mean, that's just not who the fuck who was I supposed to root for? I mean, like Hank. Hank was way too shallow of a character to root for. You can't root for fucking Hank. Uh, uh, I mean, the main character of the show is Walter White, Bryan Cranston, and you're not supposed to root for him. I mean, like I don't understand what Vince Gilligan was thinking, but uh, uh, um, I don't know. I mean, but I mean, I will have to say, Breaking Bad. I mean, I don't care who you are. It is unequivocally the best show ever written. I mean, like that's not even subjective. I mean, that's an objective truth. Um, but it's still confusing to me that the writer, Vince Gilligan, was portraying the main character as the bad guy and you weren't supposed to like him. And it's like, I did. But then I came from a background of or I related to his position, so to speak. We'll just say it that way. And so um uh I rooted for him. I'm like, oh man, stack that paper, baby, stack that paper. And when his family started going off, I'm just like, hey, they need to step back and recognize. But no, I mean, it was written from I don't know. It's just weird. Best show ever written, but I did not agree with the point that was trying to be made by the writer. But I didn't even know that was the point until after the show was already over, and Vince Gilligan in interviews is like, "Oh, you're not supposed to like Walter White. You're supposed to be invested in his character, but not like him because he's such a bad guy." And I was like, "Okay, mm. No," that's right, Keith. Yeah, and Ozark is very similar. It's how you can be corrupted by temptation, and continuously go just a little further, a little further, a little further, a little further every time. And well, if this is my limit now, well, a little bit further is not much different. So, and you can keep going. And I never watched Sons of Anarchy. I just from the premise, I never really wanted to watch it. It made me uncomfortable, but and so I was never able to really get into it. Having Yeah, I don't really want to get into all that, but in any case, yeah, no, never watched any episodes of Sons of Anarchy, but I did watch all of Ozark, and I did enjoy that one. And um, yeah, man, Breaking Bad was, I mean, that's the only show in my life where I ever saw every single episode when it aired live. Like I didn't I even worked in the oil field for the last like 6 seasons, so like all but 2, and I still made it home in time to watch every single episode when it aired on AMC. And I mean, I own the fucking DVD, the Blu-ray barrel, with all of the discs in it. I've got the the Los Pollos Hermanos apron and the little coin and all that that comes in the Blu-ray box set or barrel, the money barrel. Um, I mean, at this point in time, owning a Blu-ray is about as useful as owning a DVD. I mean, it's like, where the fuck you gonna play it? Oh, I got a Blu-ray or I got a DVD. I guess I'll go buy a Blu-ray player right quick so I can watch this shit. No, you're just gonna stream it. But back in the day, that was the thing. So, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this baby up. I have got shit to do, and oh well, fuck me, Stargate, you son of a bitch. You just had to go there, didn't you? You just had to go there. Yes, I loved Better Call Saul, Robert. Better Call Saul was a close second to. It was a good follow up to Breaking Bad. Vince Gilligan wrote it as well, and it was a good way to tie up characters. Uh, um, it ranks up there in the top 10, I would say. I wouldn't say second though. I mean, if I had to rank TV shows, okay, while I am a Stargate fan, I would never call the writing on par with anything close to like Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones or things like that. So I would rank Breaking Bad first because everyone would. Breaking Bad is unequivocally the best show ever written. Um, Maybe not produced, maybe not, whatever, but writing wise, Breaking Bad is top notch. It's the best there ever was. I don't think that'll ever be surpassed. Game of Thrones comes in second in my book, and that is subjective because some people don't like fantasy and whatever. Third, mm, maybe Vikings, maybe Outlander. No, not Outlander. Outlander's not going to fall into that. Um, Honestly, once you get down to third, everything is pretty subjective, and man, there are a lot of shows that fall right into that category of that was a good show, and that was a good show. Like I love Travelers, and that's a very obscure show that in hindsight wasn't written all that well, but I loved it not all the same. So was Warehouse 13, Guillermo del Toro's House of Horrors or whatever the hell that was. Uh, Better Call Saul, top 5, I would say. I did like Doctor Who. I've never seen an episode of Doctor Who. Not a single episode of any season. I know Doctor Who is a thing, but that is all I know. And I know there's a telephone booth involved. The TARDIS. It's a telephone booth. That is all I know about it. The new Lost in Space, I tried and could not follow it. The writing was not. I've seen a few episodes of the old one, not very many, and I tried watching the new one, and it wouldn't hook me. You know what I mean? And so for me, if I'm watching a show, if you don't hook me in the first 30 minutes, I'm probably not coming back for a second one. Now, in that regard, it took an episode and a half for Breaking Bad to hook me, but back then there weren't any other really shows you could watch. I mean, there wasn't a lot of competition. There wasn't a lot going on. I mean, so, you know, back then to go to amc.com and then like, okay, let's download an episode of this show and let's watch it. All right, well, I don't really get it, but I'll go ahead and watch the second one. And after the second one, you're like, fuck, I'm screwed. I got to watch every one of these. I've just never seen Doctor Who. I mean, like, I don't know anything about it. It's just never been in my wheelhouse. I mean, like, yeah, I like sci-fi and whatnot, but I mean, I'm not a fan of Star Trek: The Original Series. never really cared for it. I've seen all of TNG and all of Voyager, and like my favorite Star Trek series was Voyager. But I mean, Stargate, that was my thing. I mean, like I've got the fucking thing tattooed on my arm. It's my touch. That's my freaking touch mark. And that was my sci-fi genre. You know what I mean? Just never. I don't even know what Doctor Who is about. I don't know what the point of it is. I don't know. I don't know anything about it really. And I've never seen Discovery either. Although I will say, what's the one on Disney Plus with Picard? I think it's called Picard. Maybe that was actually pretty good. I did like that. Yeah, it is Picard, right? That was a pretty decent one. Anyways, before Adam fucking sidetracked me with Stargate, I was trying to sign off and call it a night because I've got shit to do. I've got to pee. I've got dinner to get out of the oven and get all vacuum sealed up for the rest of the week. Below Decks, the animated one I have not seen. Oh, Supernatural is so good. You guys are gonna fucking keep me on here all night, aren't you? Just talking about sci-fi TV, you fuckers. Oh, I see how it is. Doctor Who is a time traveling alien who is the last of his race, likes Earth, and takes companions through time and space, saving the universe. Huh. Yeah, Supernatural is pretty good. You know what else is pretty good was Heroes. I really liked Heroes until it got to the point where everybody had a fucking superpower. I mean, that was kind of bullshit when. Eh. Anyways, I got to go, you guys. I'd love to sit here and talk sci-fi all night and keep going, but I've got shit to do. I really do. And thank you all for hanging out and making it more than worth my while. And if anything, I hope it was maybe a little bit enlightening as to who I am and what I'm about and why I am the way I am. And you know, if not, then you can fuck right off. I don't care. I don't mean that like in the mean sense. I mean that in the Canadian sense. Like, oh, you can fuck right off, bud. Oh yeah, eat a dick, yo. So I will catch you guys on Sunday, where I'll have to tone down the profanity a little bit and be a little less real and more family friendly. So y'all have a good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite, and have a drink for me if because pretty soon I'm not gonna be able to have one for myself. So peace out. Y'all have a good one.